Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we're joined by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
We're so glad that you're here today. As you're joining us, let us know where you're coming in from. If you have questions, if you're looking for help with your site today, this is a great opportunity for us to work together on whatever you're working on in your business. We do have a topic today. It's one that I'm particularly interested in. I certainly love talking about this because it's been such a revelation for me in how I work with people and in how the AttractWell platform has evolved over time, the software to support the thing that we're talking about today. So we're kind of built to do this in a way. And it's not something that I really feel like I hear a lot of folks talking about. There's a lot of people out in the sort of, do stuff online space that, talk about, oh, well, make a course, you should have an online course. And sure, there's great reasons to have an online course, but if online courses aren't your thing that you want to use to grow your business, if you're more of a coach or a consultant or whatever, there are ways that you can leverage the same structure that online course creators use to be able to get the same kind of benefits they do, right? So if you think about it, when you're creating a course, usually, generally speaking, you're creating something that's pretty evergreen. People go through it step by step. You're not there with them every step of the way. You could sell it to usually a pretty infinite number of people, right? Whereas with coaching, there's only so much of your time, right? Or consulting or services. So there are ways that we can take this very leveraged model and the things that power that leveraged model and incorporate them into your unique business. So we do have an opportunity today, depending on what kind of business you have, if you're here live, for us to even talk a little bit about what your business is and how we can be building more of these coursified features into it using your AttractWell system. But I have a few slides I want to go through with you today. And again, always thrilled to have you here. This is for anyone who is a course creator, consultant, coach, network marketer, practitioner. If you are someone that needs a place to keep your contacts managed, to get the word out, to get found, to take payments, and to deliver value to your people, we've got everything you need under one roof with AttractWell, and it's all for one price. And you don't have to worry about zipping and zapping and plugging things together and duct taping your business anymore, because it's all under one roof at a fraction of what you pay for anything else. So with that said, if you are new here today, welcome. Excited to have you. And for everyone else, we love you. Welcome back. All right. So I'm going to turn off video here for the recording quality. Thank you. All right. So today we're talking about how to course-ify your coaching. Can I see a quick show of hands, actually? If you're here today, do you have an online course or something similar? Or is it something that you're building in your business? Awesome. All right, so today let's talk about coursifying what we do. So first, oops, I didn't change that. We're coursifying with AttractWell today. We will be live coaching on what that looks like, and we'll do some live help and Q&A. I use the same slides every week, by the way. Did not update that particular slide this week. Sorry about that. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Go over to the Q&A and leave it or put it in the chat. Let me know about your business. What type of business do you have? So we can make sure that whatever we use to contextualize how you might set something like this up today, we can make sure that we're taking yours into account. So leave us a comment. And if you came here with specific questions, if you're looking for help with a particular aspect of your business or how you run it, let's help you on this call today. Add any question, even if it's not on the topic we are about to cover, to the Q&A, and we can go through that together. All right, so if you want to work together live, and I don't know if you can do this right now on the live call. I don't know if this is something that Calendly would allow, but we don't have a scheduled website review. So if you are here today and you're looking for help, like getting eyeballs on what you're doing, even if we've done this together before, you are welcome to be that person that we work with today, or persons. Just let us know in the Q&A. And in the future, go to attractwell.com/work review to actually sign up for dedicated time and space on one of these upcoming calls. And if you watch this in the future as a replay, you can join us at attractwell.com/office hours and get access to this Zoom link to hop on live with us every week at 2 o'clock Eastern. All right, now question for you. What do you repeat most often in your business? I'm really interested to know. When you think about, and you guys received the email that I sent out yesterday, what do you repeat? Think about what you spend the most time talking about. Maybe if you work with clients in a similar way, right? If you have a set offering, if you're in a service-based business, maybe you are a consultant, maybe you're a practitioner, maybe you've got patients that you work with in a very specific way. Are there things that you repeat with them? Things that you say? Let's think about that for a minute. What do you repeat most often? And another question, again, for context, I really want to make sure we're meeting you where you are here on our call today. How do you work with your clients? So do you meet with them on set appointments? Is it a set schedule where you meet weekly? Is it on an as needed basis? Do they buy a package of hours with you, or do they pay a one-time fee for a project? Like, what does that look like for you? That is going to shape how we Course-ify, of course. And leave us a comment. Let us know, because I really do want to make sure that we're spending this time today getting that coverage there for you so that you're confident on what you can do to create this phenomenon in your business so you can save a ton of time and decrease your overhead while expanding the value, right? So why would you want to Course-ify? First is structure. How many of us absolutely love the structure that we have in place for how we run our business? Like, love it right now. It's running perfectly. Super great structure, right? Most of us cannot really raise our hand, right? We could always use a little bit more. The fact is as much as we want our business to be built around systems and things that are predictable and, kind of easy to plug and play, like if you built a machine, the fact is everyone who's here has a business that's based around people and a lot of cases, relationships with people. So that means that that structures need to be a little flexible, right? But it doesn't mean that they can't exist. I think a lot of us kind of fly by the seat of our pants, especially if we're early on in the process of offering something, whether that is a course, a coaching program, or services. But creating structure is something that allows you to build a more predictable business, right? This allows you to repeat what you do over and over again with more and more people. And even more importantly, when you've got something that is structured, predictable, and repeatable, you can now scale. You can hire someone to do some of the work that needs the one-on-one human. You can add automations that doesn't require a human there one-on-one. And you can really set things up to where you have a business that's running without you being in it, but you working on it. And what this also could mean for you is that you can spend less time one-on-one, right? So spending less time one-on-one with your clients while actually improving outcomes. I think this is something that a lot of us kind of fear in the beginning. There's fear that kind of holds us back from this idea that if we are coaching, for instance, that we might set a time limit, or maybe even say that this is a 30-minute call, right? When you think about how you've worked in the past, you may wonder how on earth you could actually get the thing done that you would want to get done with a client inside of that short period of time. But the fact is that there is a way to do it, and it actually creates a better outcome for your people, however you're working with them. And then this, of course, means that you can serve more clients at the same time without sacrificing the quality of work that you are providing or the experience that you're providing for your clients or customers. So the basics of coursification is first, we want to take the concepts that your clients need to know that you are then going to teach, right? And you can do this with video. I personally use video for this, but it's not necessary. You can provide written instructions for this purpose. And we put these inside of an online course. And if any of this feels kind of fuzzy to you at any point, don't worry. I'm actually going to go show you what this looks like and literally how I've used these things in my own coaching practice, right? And how I work with clients and how I also teach this to be done as well. So I'm going to show you for the visual folks here. But basically what we want to do is take the concepts, the things that we spend time teaching. This would also be the things that folks need to know in the beginning, right? This isn't just the big concepts. So maybe you're working with clients who run businesses. I know Melissa's here today, or you have VA services, right? So there are things that you've learned over time that can help them save time in what they do. So instead of waiting until that opportunity comes up for you to be able to share that piece of information with that one client that needs it at one point down the road, you can be making little videos as you learn these things, as you build these things into your practice, and you now have these concepts that you're teaching when you're not there, that are increasing the value of the experience that your client or customer has, and it's delivered inside of a platform that you don't have to hold their hand for them to walk through, right? Another cool thing about coursification is that we can actually guide implementation of what they've learned, right? So that they're learning something without you being there one-on-one, and now they're implementing something without you being there one-on-one, right? Give these assignments where they're necessary so that they can put into action what you've just taught them in that lesson prior to your one-on-one time. I'll give an example. I work with a lot of clients on sort of understanding your brand message and foundation. This is sort of the basis for building websites, for great copywriting, for launching programs, things like this, right? For PR. And there's a couple of key things that I've developed over time, realizing I've got patterns all over the place. The same person that needs this also needs this, and somebody else follows along. The next client that I have, they're struggling at the same spot. I make a worksheet. It worked for this one. I'm going to use it on the next one, right? So I developed these over time. And so what I do is I'll have all of my new clients go through this series of videos. And with each video, there's also a worksheet. And that worksheet instructs them to, follow these instructions, do this exercise, and then submit it. And then on our one-on-one call, we'll go over it together. So if they don't feel like they really quite got it, we can close those gaps, right? But most importantly, I'm not doing the teaching and the action and the coaching on the same call. We are effectively slashing the time necessary in less than half, right? Like you spend less than half that amount of time now because they've been able to learn and understand that concept, and you can spend more time doing what you're really great at, right? If you're a coach. So we are spending our time now on those calls, which are fewer and farther between. I wish that over time, as I had done this, I had been doing more to kind of actually track my metrics, but I can tell you that in the very beginning with this one particular offering that I've been running for a few years now, it was day-to-day texting, calling, constant back and forth on Zoom all the time, like with one client, right? And now when I get people started, and the price has increased since then, when I get people started, I add them to an online course vault in our system, and they go through a series of videos. They fill out the worksheets that those videos tell them to fill out. And then once they've completed that set of videos, they're onboarded, get an email, have a link to book with me, and we're on to the next step, right? It's enormously saved time. Like I can't even begin to tell you how much it's saved time. And it's allowed me to work with over 10 times more people than I did previously. Right. So it's really, really cool what this can do for you guys. So, and I also want to provide this caveat because I know not everyone, we talk about coaching a lot. Coaching may certainly be a part of what you do, but it may not be the whole thing that you do. But this is something that's going to work incredibly well for you, even if you're not a coach, right? You can coursify your onboarding for your customers or clients or brand partners if you're a network marketer. So what you can do is you can take into your onboarding, and I talked about this last week, and I can show you what this looks like if you missed it. But if you've got intake forms, if you've got agreements, if you've got things that are accountability based or exercises you want them to perform, if there's basic education they need to know about working with you or embarking on whatever this journey is that they just said yes to, you can put all of this inside of an online course. So in sequence, they can say, okay, step 1 is this. Now I'm going to take this step. Step 2 is that. Now I'm going to do this action, right? Step 3 is this. Now I'm going to hop on the call with you, right? So you can actually onboard with a course, which saves you, again, loads of time and provides people the opportunity to go back and rewatch a video, right? I think everyone here knows that we frequently wished that we were paying closer attention when we were, present with someone who was sharing information with us or watching a video or listening to a podcast or watching one of these videos, for instance. We are very distracted people. It's very, very likely in most cases, especially even when you're one-on-one with people, that you don't get through to them completely. So why not have some of this most important stuff in video format or written, so that they could always go back and cement that knowledge more strongly than they would have than trying to ask you to repeat yourself on a future call because they didn't quite get that thing that you explained. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So another great thing you can do if you are a practitioner of any kind, if you are a yoga teacher, if you are a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, if you are a health coach, if you offer a service, if you're a service-based business, your customers are looking for supplemental education, most likely, that you can offer, right? So what are the things that if they knew this, they could get more out of what they get from you? So thinking about this, for instance, if you are any of those practitioner types that I just rattled off there, having things that are educational resources around lifestyle, like a healthier lifestyle, around diet, around meal plans, recipes, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be directly linked to what it is that you already offer. It can be tangential, and it can be incredibly valuable to be able to put this stuff into a place where they can get it from you, right? Like we assume that we don't need to create content because you can go onto Google, type something in, and literally find anything. But the fact is that if somebody trusted you enough to say yes to what you offer, they're going to want to hear what is yes also 17 other places on Google. They're going to want to hear that from you. It's going to sit more effectively when it comes from you. It's going to sit in context more effectively when it comes from you because you occupy this place in their life now. Does that make sense? So use these things as supplemental education if it's not a primary means of how you work with people. Then you can also create a valuable add-on that doesn't add overhead to your business, right? So if you've ever wondered, like, how can I raise my rates, or how can I feel good about raising my rates? If you're increasing the value of what you offer, then it makes perfect sense. You can absolutely, if you create that little course on beating inflammation with 7 diet changes and lifestyle plans, and you're a chiropractor, maybe if you've got like a membership model and a cash practice, I'm getting super specific here, you can basically say, here's this thing that's worth $300, and you get this for free when you sign up for this care plan today. Right? Like, it's a thing that you can actually use that actually provides benefit to your clients, to your patients, to your customers. And it doesn't cost you really anything extra because, you can create an online class with your AttractWell account. If you're already using AttractWell to manage your business and do all these other things, you can add this thing that provides value to your people. And then, and this is the really cool thing that you can do, and this is optional, of course, but this is a really great way to transition into monthly recurring revenue models. So if you want to be able to have something in your business that people are paying you for monthly, right? So you want a mastermind, or you want a, just some kind of thing, a retention program, then you have the ability to create something like this and keep people sticky with it. This is especially powerful if you're a network marketer and you're building a team. You would typically build like a Facebook group to keep your people engaged and informed and educated and everything. But you can actually build something extraordinary inside of your AttractWell account using a vault and Course-ify basically what it means to get started on your team, what it means to share what it is that you're offering, right? And then, of course, to walk people through the basics of what they need to know to be successful with product opportunity, or both. All right, so if you want to learn more about the features that we have that support these things, and I'm going to be walking you through and showing you what some of these things are, do make sure that you check out our help center. You can type in course or class here or vault, and you can find all kinds of great information. And you can also get access, if you go to attractwell.com/online course, you can get access to this completely free course that will teach you a way that you can get Course-ifying in your business, right? So you can organize and plug in your content, whether that is sequential onboarding, whether it is, more holistic and concept focused, whatever the thing is that you want to provide, either as a tool to run your business or as a way to add value or add another, payment option to create that monthly revenue. You can plug all that great stuff in. We talk about how you can organize it so it flows the way that you want it to. And then we can curate the ideal experience that is powered by leverage and automation. So if you want your clients or customers to have calls with you at certain intervals in their experience, if you have a program, for instance, or you sell coaching or consulting, you can build those things in so that your system is leading them to next steps. And when they're ready, they arrive to you via your booking app or whatever it is that you like to use to have people on your calendar. You can also set your offers up to sell the way you want. So if you are creating something for sale, whether that be a group coaching program, a monthly recurring group, or just your offer that is leveraging this model, we can show you how to do that inside of this course. And of course, seal any of the gaps, because there's always considerations to take into account. Every business is a little different, and how you want yours to run is a very personal choice. So you'll see lots of different options to make this work for you inside of this course. So you go to attractwell.com/online course, and you can get access and get started. So I'm going to share with you some real life examples of coursification. I'll share with you some of my own, and then we will also get into some coaching, live help, and Q&A. So let me see. Turn my video back on here. And I think we had some stuff in the chat here. So let me see. So we've got coaching, VA, selling virtual products. Excellent. Onboarding new patients and follow up with patients, meeting weekly, pay in advance. Oh, so this is how you meet with your folks. So people pay in advance for a certain number of hours per month, and then you meet with them weekly. So Melissa, an idea for you for this is you can have that payment page set up in your AttractWell account. They pay for whatever that price is. And then you can go ahead and have an automation that could be a campaign that sends them a link to book with you. Go ahead and set up your times, right? Or that could add them to a vault that says, here's what we do first and here's what we do next, and so on. If you have questions, by the way, so Michael, in your case, you're onboarding new patients and following up with them. If you want to share a little bit more about your practice, or maybe some of what you have in place already, we're happy to provide a little bit more context there. So one of the first things that I want to show you guys is, and I did show this in last week's call, but I think we've got a lot of folks here who were not here for that. So let me show you that here real quick. I'm going to show you my onboarding, what I actually use for onboarding as a coach. But this can absolutely work as well if you provide services. So like Melissa, in your case, you could set something up similarly for this as well. This would work beautifully if you want to meet with people at certain intervals in their progress as they're going through these different steps in how you work with folks. And for onboarding, like if you've got patients, for instance, you would have, you could use something like what I'm about to show you to get intake forms, to get agreements, contracts, things like that. And then of course, in any practice, you've got patient education, right? So there's things that they need to know. You can get the basics there. Another great thing that you can do is really kind of compile resources, right? So even if there are things that wouldn't necessarily live inside of your AttractWell account, like if, your practice has a Facebook page, or like if you want to send them over to your blog, like all of that stuff can be linked from there as well. The idea is really just to kind of put everything into one place. Okay, so Melissa, we'll get to that question here privately for you. Okay, let me open this vault here. I think Greg, you might be able to get that, right? I think.
I'll take a look at it here.
Okay, Awesome. All right, so let me show you guys real quick, just keep this going. When someone signs on to work with me, in this particular case, they're paying a one-time fee and there is a scope of work. It is not, a 90-day thing or a 6-month thing. It's a little bit more of an open-ended deal. They get to the point when they get to the point, we build the thing when it's time to build the thing. It's a combination of coaching and done for you. And so, basically what I have here is my onboarding module, and then all the education that I would ever basically be having them reference. So things that they need to learn, concepts that they need to learn, I've put in here. And basically what I do in my Start Here module, which is where everybody starts, I add them to this vault and I tell them to go through here because there is an automation once they've completed this entire course that will send them an email to take a next step. In this case, they'll be booking on a calendar that belongs to someone on our team who provides a specific service inside of this offering. So I give them a big picture overview. That's the first thing we do. Hey, here's what's happening. Here are the links to get on my calendar. Here's what you need to know. And then there's, there's a minute. It's like a minute. Hey, here's what you need to know. Again, just keeping this really simple. None of this was very complicated. Created all of these slides inside of Keynote on Mac. You could use Canva or whatever it is that you like to create. We did do a whole training on exactly what you need to create an online course. So definitely check that out on our YouTube channel. But I wanted to show you real quick. If you want to use an online course for onboarding, this is a really cool thing to do because you can actually take your fillable forms or printable if you wish and pop them right here into the page itself. And in this case, you must upload a file in order to proceed to the next lesson. So this is also a really great way to make sure nothing gets lost. Now, everything that a client has submitted is going to be right inside of their contact card in your system. So let me see if there's any, okay, no, that wasn't a question for me. So that's what that looks like. And then the neat thing is, and let me actually go over here and show you what this looks like on the back end. And mind you, this is an Get Oiling system. It's exactly the same as AttractWell. It's just this system is built for Young Living brand partners. And this is, you'll notice if you go into AttractWell, it looks just like this. The colors are just different. Okay, so I have this set up to where in this very last lesson, or in the lesson here, no, I'm sorry. Let me go to my Start Here. I'm looking at this the wrong way. All right, so I'm inside of my online class, Start Here. Now, I've scrolled down here and I have an automation that is run. I have this set up right here. There's an automation that takes place after somebody completes this. So basically after they've gone through and they have, if I can go back to the beginning there, after they have completed the entire class, all of these boxes are checked, they're actually going to get an automation that's going to run. And what happens there is they're going to get a tag that says that they've completed the Start Here module. So I could always go in and search for who has gotten that far. So you can actually see who is where in progress. If you ever want to kind of take inventory of who is where in your client success process. But I also have a campaign that runs automatically. And so this campaign that gets sent it just tells them it's time to schedule our call. And it's going to send them a link to book on a calendar and we're good to go, right? So, so that is what onboarding would look like. But just, talking about what it would look like in the day-to-day, how I personally run this is, again, because it is a one-time payment and people work with me basically on an open-ended basis to completion on this stuff. They just get to get on my calendar, right? And it's a 15-minute call or it's a 30-minute call. It's going to be about one of the things that we've talked about here. It may be because it is a very one-on-one thing. For instance, I have a new client who's just recently started, who is really clear on her branding, but we want to go ahead and start creating an offer first. She already has an idea for a program that she wants to create. So what I wanted her to do is to come over here, and our AttractWell Pipeline Igniter modules are in here because I just put everything that I create inside of here so that I don't have to go log in 7 different places. And I basically said, I want you to go here and I want you to complete this module here. And then after you've done that, book a call. Right. And so now what we're doing is she's going to go and she's going to watch this, and she's going to watch this video, and it has a worksheet, and the worksheet is explained. I tell her exactly what I want her to do with the worksheet here. And then she's going to send that to me. And then she's going to do the next one. It has a worksheet. And so I'm going to have those things before our call, because I have that automation in place. It's going to say, hey, send me any work that you plan to have reviewed before the call. And so I'm going to get those from her after she's watched these, after she's filled them out. And now on our next call, we're talking about next steps, right? Or we're reviewing what she's done and figuring out if there's anything else that needs to be covered. And then of course I can then say, all right, now the next thing that I want you to do is come over here, and we're going to take what we just did a step further, and we're going to outline your program, which is literally what we're doing next. So, okay, let's see if there are any questions. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or want to talk a little further about what this can look like for you, I do have one other example actually. How many of you guys who are here today by chance are brand ambassadors or brand partners for like a network marketing company? Like, do you have a product that you refer into? I know we have a lot of folks who are. So I want to show you something really cool. This is an example of sort of a coursification of an offer. So this person is a client of mine. She sells Young Living essential oils, and she is obsessed with horses. She loves horses. And so that's sort of her thing. Like, people who are also into horses, who have horses, and who want to, or who are interested in taking care of their horses holistically, can find this incredible resource that she has that actually introduces them to how to use the products that she sells. So she's actually selling this course. And so she's out there, she's run Facebook ads to this course, and she gets new customers for this product from this course, right? But it's geared toward people who fit a very specific avatar. And so this is just an example of sort of a coursification of a business, because when somebody gets started with Young Living, for instance, buying product, they now have a whole contextual guide based on their interests of how they can be using these products. So this increases the orders that she gets and the volume and the sales volume that she is profiting off of on a monthly basis. And so it's a thing that she created, a labor of love. She profits off of it in one way because she sells it. Not everybody, you don't need to buy her network marketing product in order to use and benefit from this information. But boy, do you benefit if you do, right? So let me go find this real quick, and I will show you guys. Here we go. So this is Megan's website, and here we go. All right, the Healing Barn Movement. So I'm going to show you her sales page for this, but just kind of to give this to you in context. We don't have permission to go and show the back end, but she is, she's basically created not just a course, but a community, right? Like, there is a discussion room. She's sharing tips in there all the time. And people get to actually interact with this almost like they would if you had like a paid Facebook group. And for anyone who kind of fits the right model, right? The people who fit the right kind of profile or interest, they're going to get the most out of using this. And she is going to obviously have a happy customer and that residual income from the products that she's recommending inside of the course. And in this case, which I think is particularly interesting as well, she's actually partnered with holistic practitioners who serve horses, who are contributing valuable information on a month-to-month basis. So they can actually get referred, like they get referrals from her. So be thinking about this, right? Like, if you are, holistically oriented, or maybe you're business oriented and you want to bring in somebody who's a copywriter or who's a tech whiz or something like that, you can actually have contributors inside of these sort of coursified experiences that you create that can lead into affiliate offers, or that could, simply just add value to what it is that you're offering, and potentially provide some incentive for another person to be referring their clients to you because you're featuring them to your clients. Okay. Greg, were you able to figure out what Melissa was dealing with?
Yeah, I commented in the chat.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so let's hear then. How are you currently working with folks? I tell you what, raise your hand and let's talk about how we can introduce more coursification into what it is that you're doing. It's probably going to fit a little more cleanly for most of us inside of your onboarding process. For instance, we did go into that in greater depth in our previous video from last week. You can find that on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/AttractWell. Yeah, let's see. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat here. But yeah, if you guys are good and don't have any questions, I would love to hear what you plan on doing this week to save yourself some time in your business. And if you need to see what that might look like in your system, we could certainly show you, some tips and tricks. But otherwise, yeah, if we're good to go, we're good to go. I'll give you guys just a couple minutes for any questions that you might have. Let's see, Melissa says, I'm building an onboarding vault currently. Would love to see one in action or see a resource bundle. So here, I'm gonna let you talk, Melissa. Hi. So,
hi.
Okay, so I've demoed mine. What kind of function are you looking for in an onboarding process?
So it would be onboarding for a network marketing company. So I want to be able to, there's two different levels. There's kind of like a partner and a customer type situation. So I'm going to be building out 2 vaults, I'm assuming, right? Because you can't put the same one in. Okay. So if I build out 2 vaults, I guess I'm just kind of like, I've done a regular course before, like where, here's module 1 and it's like a course about discovering yourself, like, so it's just a basic course, but I've never done an onboarding one before where you might want to come in and look up business resources, or you might want to come in and look up self-development, and I'm just not sure what that actually would look like and how to lay that out.
Yep. Let me show you. Let me actually, this one is an update. Well, okay, no, this is fine. I think this is going to be fine. Okay, so this is actually a core thing that I help create with a lot of clients that I work with, because a lot of our folks are network marketers. So so this is what, and it's not just an onboarding vault. This would be the thing that replaces the Facebook group for your network marketing team, right? Okay. And you can absolutely have business and product in the same place. I wouldn't necessarily have like all of the business communication in the same place as the product, but that is going to kind of vary from company to company. In the example that you're looking at right here, of course, this is Young Living. In the network marketing world, this is probably the most product network marketing company that I've really ever worked with or have seen. In a lot more cases, the culture of a network marketing company is a little bit more 50-50, if not a little bit more on the business side than the product. So it's kind of hard to say, and you actually get to choose and build that culture yourself, and what you choose to put together and what you sort of create here. So what I like to recommend, and we do have, if you'd like to kind of translate the Young Living stuff out into whatever it is that you want to use. We do have on our Get Oiling site, and you may have access to this, How to Move Your Groups Off of Facebook course, which does really kind of talk about how to build education-based or business builder-based or even lead-based groups on your AttractWell site, or in this case, it was for Get Oiling. But if you can see through the where I'm talking about Young Living and just insert your company there, I think that will give you a lot of ideas. And I actually showed how to build this there. Okay. So let's look at it real quick though. So there's a start here, like a guide page that just, basically has the welcome. Here's what's here. Get on their mailing list. What I also see a lot of leaders do here is a sort of virtual walkthrough orientation of this vault and what's in it, right? So here's how to use it, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that you could put on a page like this. Okay.
So that's, I guess, was one of my questions. So when you come, because I did create kind of like a start here page, I called it my like home page for my vault, but that's essentially what that doesn't show as soon as you go into the vault, right? They have to click on it.
That's right. That's right. Everything, if you want them to see it right away, you're just going to put it up here. And that's totally fine. I mean, you could have a video up here if you wanted. It's totally a thing that you could do if you want to like have a thing that they see right when they come in and you want that to stay there. But this is the onboarding module. So this is a network marketing onboarding module. So in this case, we're talking about navigating the virtual office for like placing orders, finding your user customer ID or whatever, whatever your auto ship is, how to find support, how to get in touch with the company, with corporate, kind of helping people to understand this is when you ask me and this is when you reach out to support, that kind of thing. And then any kind of go-to resources.
Do you find that I'm assuming Young Living they're so well established, they probably don't change a lot of like their compensation plan and stuff like that. But do you find that instead of housing all of those documents on your site, you would rather point people to the corporate version of those, like where corporate puts them out, so you're not constantly changing them inside your vault?
Yes, for two reasons. Number one, so that you're not constantly changing them inside of your vault. But number two, because in network marketing, you're going to be better at duplicating where you're pointing to what the expert says. When you're not the expert, you're pointing to the expert, and the expert's always corporate, right?
Right.
So what you'll find, most network marketing companies are like this. Usually there is a static link. Usually there's a static link for whatever the monthly deal is, and then for whatever the IDS is, any kind of P&P or whatever. Usually it's a static link per market. So the US market versus another market, depending on where you are. So yeah, usually it's that, right? So for instance, what I teach, and this is, so I do segregate in this case, the basics of how to use the stuff from corporate. Here's the corporate stuff, right? From the actual product education in this case. So for Young Living, they've, like you mentioned, they're super well established. They've got hundreds of products, tons of information. It covers a lot of ground. It can be really overwhelming. And so I wanted to separate that from how do I place an order? What is the auto ship program, right? It might not make sense depending on what you offer. Like I think you have ULA. So like I think it's a lot simpler to, it's a lot simpler to explain.
Yes.
And you might be more apt to give them like the basics of here's your journey. Our goal 1 is this, our goal 2 is that, right? And then, you can have another class here that kind of goes into the 7 F's of ULA, right? So like you could kind of separate those things out if you wanted to. I wanted to show you actually on this monthly news and promos page. This is an example of where I would put, and actually I don't have anything in here right now, or specific permission to share somebody else's with you that looks like this. But one of the things that I do is I will have a link on a page, and you might update different things on this page, of course, once a month, but there are static pages, right? So if you go to Young Living's website, for instance, if you're working with a product-based company that has monthly, PV promos, then you're always going to find a static page, right? So this page right here, you can actually see there's no, January in it or whatever. Like this is the same 365 days a year. So I'll take a link like that and put it on a page like this so that it's always the same. So as many things that you can find static links to, absolutely put them in the vault, because you aren't really getting paid to spoon feed people information. You're getting paid to share product and get people started on it and get them, so successful with using it that they're excited to share too. So,
Now, would that work? Would that work if they have to like sign in? Like some of our stuff is behind, we have to sign in to our back office in order to get our monthly specials or whatever. So that might be a static link, but they would ask you to sign in. Like if you click the link, you probably have to sign in first.
So here, let me show you, I'll show you an example of what we've done that works in that direction. If you have to sign in, write it out as instructions. Step 1, go to this website, show them a screenshot. Step 2, do this, show them a screenshot. Step 3, do this, show a screenshot, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And
then when they click on your link, it'll take them right to it without them having to sign in again. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
And so, so we actually show, I don't think I have anything in that one, how to place an order. I think this is our older one from before Young Living made their update. So expect to update this sometimes, but probably not very often. And it's a pretty quick, like, you're just walk through the process yourself, take screenshots yourself, right? And just pop them in here. So yeah, that's what onboarding would look like. And then, well, it's what the reference piece of onboarding looks like. Basically, what I would say is this: in network marketing, you can't completely automate your onboarding, because if you try to completely automate anything in network marketing, your duplication likelihood is going to tank. But what you do is, you get your person signed up for their product, and then you say, all right, now I'm going to connect you to the singular resource that you can go and you find all your questions to get them answered, and, meet the team and learn all the updates. So this is your login, and everything that you need to know about the decision you just made is going to live right here, right? So onboarding really would technically be sign them up for product, get them into the vault. And then now, anything that they want to reference, because you should always help your network marketing customer make their first order. That's the ideal thing to do, because it's the duplicable thing to do. And then from that point forward, you're keeping up with them. Of course, the cadence of that's going to look a little different company to company. In a heavy product-based company, so if you're Young Living or your Q Sciences or something like that, where you've got a lot of product that you're promoting, you want to be having monthly calls. In something like ULA, where this is very kind of coaching centric, I might even consider offering a weekly cadence, especially in the very beginning. Or you establish just sort of a flow, right? So you get them started and you say, okay, here's the first step. And then you have them do that first step, right? They've got to watch a training, get the app, whatever. And then you schedule a time before you get off that phone call with them, right? So when's the next time we're getting back together? So by this point, you will have done this thing, right? And then you're just sort of establishing that back and forth. But yeah, so you can have, your discussion rooms in here. If you want to feature team members, you could certainly do that as well. It's a great little thing to do. And, they don't have to be of a particular rank or anything. It's really just, here's who's here and can help you. And anyone can go there.
Thank you very much. That was very helpful.
I'm glad. Good. Let me know if you have any other questions. All right, Heather says, I just recently graduated from IIN's health coaching program. Congratulations. Love this idea to onboard new clients. Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. You understand, or you will soon, that it's easier to change someone's religion than it is to change the way they eat. And so there's a lot of things that your clients need to know that you've just spent a ton of time and invested heavily into knowing and understanding. So I would just, Heather, I would gather all of those sheets, like info stuff that they've given you, and start thinking about how you want to put it into an organized fashion so that they can go reference those things and you can say, hey, here's where you need to go. And then I would start thinking just as soon as you can about when you can start making videos that live inside of here that really guide in the way that you're uniquely fit to serve your clients, right? So there's always a sort of different focus, what have you. But oh my goodness, yes. A lot of what IIN graduates are taught is, well, I mean, you're not really taught a whole lot about building business, right? Not a whole lot. You're taught to be a great health coach. But there's a lot that is taught and that is sort of generally accepted to be true knowledge that is really suboptimal in terms of your ROI on time. And that's something that you shouldn't feel bad about prioritizing in your business. You can still serve your people incredibly well and not have it be something that swallows all of your time for basically free. And that is a very real thing that we don't want to see happen to you. All right, Cheryl says, if I'm starting wellness Zoom classes weekly with 4 different topics monthly, which features inside my account, should I start? Okay, Cheryl, what, Cheryl, I'm going to bring you out here real quick. Oh, hey, Paula. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
I figured it'd be a little easier to ask these clarifying questions here. So tell me, with these classes, are these for promoting, getting leads? Is this for getting leads for your Young Living business?
Yes, I'm thinking of as like the classes as like a lead magnet.
Perfect.
So I have a lot of people interested, but most people just either don't know anything about essential oils, and my background's like spa. So that world of kind of the fun part of it, skin and things like that. And then also just, I like the supplements and the kind of therapeutic value. So those are the two things I want to talk about. And then usually people just explain how to create a membership and get started using oils.
Perfect. Okay. So here's what I would do. Use the events manager to set up these classes, right? So these are public facing events. Make sure, because these are virtual, right? It's going to be via Zoom.
Correct.
Okay. Make sure, don't put the Zoom link on the event page. They have to RSVP, and the campaign that's attached to that event, that's where you put the Zoom link in that message. I'm going to show you what this looks like real quick, just so we're clear. Okay, so I'm going to go to AttractWell and show this here, but it's going to look the same for you in Get Oiling. So when you create your events, it's down here under events.
Okay.
So create these as events, schedule them. If you know what they're going to be, you already know months in advance. That's great, because you can actually have these show up on your site. Like with Get Oiling, there are a bunch of great built-in themes. Or they could also go to yourwebsite.com/events and just see everything that's coming up. So when you go to create your event, you put the description, the name, the time, all of these details, and then allow people to register. But then you want to add a campaign here. That's where you put the Zoom link. And the reason why I'm stressing this is that you want to use this for lead generation, right? And so you want to be able to email the people who registered for it. So if you have the Zoom link like on the event page, like right here, I see some people do this sometimes when I'm saying this. If you put the Zoom link here, nobody has a reason to RSVP. They could just click the Zoom link. Right? So just create a campaign and attach it here. And then here's what I would do next. And this kind of speaks to this coursifying and adding value. So have these events on Zoom, record them, upload them ideally to Vimeo. You want this to be something that's safe and protected, and then start putting those into a vault. Right. So you've got all of these, here is the spa lady who is doing, all of these calls about self-care, and you're the expert on this stuff, and people will eat this up. And what you can say when you do these live calls is, if you want access to this and all of my recordings on all of these classes that I do, all you need to do is be a customer. It's super simple. I'll guide you to get your first order or whatever. Or you could leave them hanging and basically say, if you want to know how you can get access to all of these that I do, that you can watch whenever you want to, send me a message. And then you can take it from there, right?
That is genius. Oh my God.
I'd love to see what you do with that, because especially if you're talking about really attractive self-care topics, if you're keeping this stuff really actionable, obviously, of course, weave some of your product in there, but it's not completely about the product, right? You're talking more about the concepts, helpful stuff for them.
Correct.
Then you could be offering a one-on-one consult following those calls.
Yes.
But then you can say, if you want to get access to my whole thing, then you could do that. So another thing that you could do, and you could kind of test that out for a while and see how it does. Another thing that you could do is offer, like basically put a price on it and say, I've got this vault of videos that, I add something new every month. The value of this is worth X number of dollars. But you can get access to this for free and get an invite to my thing that I do every week. And those are your leads. Really good leads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's amazing. Like, so I was just going to repeat every month. Self-care is 1 week. Like better sleep is another week. Stress management. And then like the kind of spa day at home thing. And people, like when I'm in the spa, they just come up, but it just takes so much of my time. So this leverages it. I never would have thought of that. So I really appreciate you taking the time. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Really, like, keep us posted. I want to see what you do with that. That's exciting.
Okay, I will. Thanks so much, Ashley.
Yeah, sure thing. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? Actually, I know, Heather, I didn't bring you out to chat, but thank you for sharing about getting started. If you have any questions or want any ideas, then we've got a couple more minutes. Happy to chat with you about that. Or if anybody else has questions or would like to talk, just shoot your hand up, raise your hand, let me know. And we're excited to help you guys out. That's such a great idea. Like when you create, by the way, Cheryl, when you create your online class, there is a category set up, right? So when I showed you like my onboarding one, for instance, you could actually see, let me go to one that I have pulled up. Here, I'll go to this one here. When you create an online class, and that's what this is, right? You see how there's like category here, and then you click on these lessons. So if you've got those 4 categories, now you've got, you know, self-care this, you've got, you know, this, that, or whatever. And then you could just start dropping those lessons in with videos. Oh, and Cheryl, by the way, when you do this, this would be great. You could actually, if you're using like MyYL, for instance, you got like bundles, like product links. And these recordings, do this for leads, because now this is going to get more people exposed. So they go and they watch your video on self-care that you did 6 months ago, self-care on a specific something, whatever for your face, I don't know. But then underneath it, you've created a MyYL bundle, or if inside of, and this is a unique thing for Get Oiling users, but you know, since we've got some of y'all here today, let me just go to pages and pretend like we're, okay, so if you are in your, okay, if you're inside of like, if you're writing an email or if you're on your page or whatever, inside the editor for Get Oiling users, there's this little leaf button right here. So like underneath that video, Cheryl, that you put into your online class, find the Young Living products that you want to recommend underneath it and put your, like, use this, pop in the Young Living URL to that product. And then it's going to spit out a unique link that's got your member number and roller number and everything on it. And like to put it underneath the videos. Oh my goodness, you're going to be referring so many people. I love it. Okay, there's one question in the Q&A. Hi, Paula. Can someone take my Get Oiling trainings into AttractWell? There are certain differences. Actually, no, Paula, they're quite the same. We are basically the same. I don't think that you are teaching anything in your courses that aren't applicable here. I mean, really, I think that one feature that I just showed, the little leaf link, I think that's one of the only things that's in AttractWell or in Get Oiling and not in AttractWell, because it's a Young Living thing. Super cool. Good to see you here. We should catch up soon. All right. Thank you guys for being here, and leave us a message, contact or support at attractwell.com. If there is a topic that you'd like to see covered in a future training, we're excited to share with you what we know and to get on these calls and to help you figure out what you need to grow. So we look forward to seeing you on a future call, and y'all have a great week.